Okay. Hi, this is Blakely Smith with Blakely Smith Coaching. I'm joined today with Safety Sam Hawkins. Sam, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
And Sam is the author of Jab to Win and other books that are up and coming. And so today we're just going to talk a little bit about yes. It's a great book. Pick it up. So we're just here to hear a little bit about you, Sam, and then also about the book. So before we jump in, can you talk a little bit about yourself, your background, and the type of work that you do?
Okay, no problem. It's always weird for me to tell about myself because I never know where to start because I have so much going on. But since we're talking about Jab to Win, I'll try to keep it in the boxing area. But I'm one who kind of grew up in a house where my oldest brother boxed, and he was the boxer of the family. He was Golden Glove champion and all that. And I actually ran track through high school. Got out of high school, played some semi-pro football in Michigan as a fullback. And if you know fullbacks, they're usually pretty big. The team only needed one fullback. They cut me. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to come back as a tailback. You got to lose like 30 pounds. So I started boxing because I know how those workouts go. Crazy as it seemed, I went to the gym to lose weight and started boxing and didn't know I picked up all these skills from my oldest brother. And I was beating pros in the gym training, and I didn't know it. So somebody me was like, well, you need to go pro. So it turned into me quitting football, boxing, going pro just like that, and learning a lot from it. For whatever weird reasons, me and my manager didn't see eye to eye on some stuff, and I ended up walking away from the sport. And in fairness to him, it was probably because I already had like a job at that point. I was making like 50 grand a year. So it's a lot easier to quit when you got money or not got money, but it wasn't like, oh, I need to be a champion to be, to be a millionaire. But from that, I started helping local boxing gyms with their training the youth and more of a mentor at that point of keeping them off the streets, helping them with schoolwork and teaching boxing and applying boxing to life. Now, roll that 20 years later, now I've been in the boxing for like 30 years. Now I train pros and I manage pros. Ironically, it's the same thing. Even with I have one that's 24, another one that's 33, another one that's 28, and it's still teaching boxing. It's still mentoring, and then getting them to take that and apply it in the ring. So that's kind of my background of what I do now. I do have 4 companies. One of I've been doing safety for 21 years, so I'm a safety consultant. My main company, and so I kind of split my time between doing safety, training fighters, and a few other things right now.
Wow. Okay. So you went from, that's a lot. Yeah.
I told you.
That's really cool. So you went from football into boxing, and then a little bit of misalignment. So you're like, okay, I'm gonna be my own mentor. I'm gonna be a mentor myself. And so now you work with guys, and you've also got this safety business on the side. This is great, and thank you for being a safety consultant. We need all of you.
I love it.
That's great.
Thing. It's still motivation. It's still mentoring. It's still convincing people to do what it takes to make it home to their kids at night. And that's my mindset when I'm dealing with safety.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That's awesome. That's awesome. We need to be thinking that way. And so I'm curious, what did you love about boxing?
For me, it was the ability to truthfully stand in front of someone and not get hit. So to me, that's where boxing really does relate to life to me, because keep in mind, while I was boxing, I was a safety professional. I was a safety manager at a company at the time. And people were like, you're the safety guy. How are you boxing? And I'm like, you're going to get hurt. I'm like, no, the goal is not to get hurt. Just like you go to work and do a tough job, you don't want to get hurt. It's the same thing. So
there's a common goal.
The goal is the same. And that's, for me, was boxing is, and when I stood in front of another fighter, it was, we both know we had 2 hands. We know we can hit each other from basically the waistline up. So I know you can do it. I know you can do it. You only have 6 or 7, 8 punches you can throw. So it's figuring what punch they're going to throw before they throw it, responding to it, making my opening. To me, that's life. Sometimes I respond wrong, right? Sometimes I thought he was going to do this and he still hit me in the face. Now how do I respond? Now how do I react? What's next? And that to me is honestly just what I like about boxing. It's the back and forth. It's the figuring it all out. And then the responding when it don't go your way.
Gotcha. Okay. So how often would you say when you're boxing you can kind of figure out like what they're about to throw?
Now pretty easy, even with my fighters who are 20 years younger than me, but it's because of a lot of studying. Early on, I had to study a lot of fighters and a lot of tape to figure it out. But for me, I started learning. I would watch their eyes or watch their hands and watch this. And my secret is I started watching the middle of their chest, and I would see, you could see a movement, and all of a sudden, if I saw a shoulder come up, I would know based off of where his shoulder went. He could only jab, he could only throw a hook or uppercut. So if I step over here and take that away, now they have to readjust. So it over time, I mean, I know now, but initially I would think, oh, this is going to be a jab, and then an uppercut would come, and I was still standing there. so it takes time.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, so tell us a little bit more about the book, and can you show, in case anybody's watching who doesn't know, can you just show what a jab is really quick?
Sure. Let me stand up here. Let me slide my chair back and hope my camera still gets me here. I'm going to slide it up. So a jab is whatever stance you're in, whether you're right or left-handed. I am standing the way someone would stand if they were left-handed. So if they're left-handed, their right shoulder is going to be in the front. And a jab is the most basic punch in boxing or in fighting. And it's standing here and it's just taking the punch out and bringing it back. So I'm gonna step back so you can see it come all the way out. It's just taking that punch out and it's just bringing it back. That's the jab. That's the basic jab. Now, there's 5 different types of jabs. We won't go through all those right now, but that's my basic jab. That is what I'm working on.
Right, and so the book talks about the jab, right? And so the jab won't make you win, but it's gonna set you up.
Well, so it sets up everything. Well, in boxing, the thought is the jab is the most important punch. And the reason it sets up punches, so the backhand, as I was standing, is my power hand. And if you notice, since it's so far away from the person, and we're just talking about figuring out what someone was going to do, if they threw their backhand without jabbing first, you would see it. Because it's so far back, before it gets to you, you have decisions that you can make and make adjustments to see it. So the jab sets it up, and it's simple. And I'm gonna just sit here from here, and it's the difference of me trying to throw this and you see it, or me going and putting that right behind it. And so it sets it sets that up. But sometimes what we also talk about, it can be defense too. So it's sometimes if I don't know what you're doing, if you're studying and you're moving and I may jab to make you have to rethink or reset. So it can be a defensive move also. So you win fights off a jab. Once you start looking at boxing after we talk about this, you're going to start noticing the person that wins most of those fights is the person with the best jab. Because that's what they're doing. They're setting everything up. They can retreat with the jab in front of them and so on. So that makes it so special. Gotcha.
And so what inspired the book?
So the side note and funny thing about that is when I was writing this one, I was actually, I was in the process of writing a safety book, which is later coming out this year now. And my brain just would not focus on safety. I had 2 fighters who were in training camp last year for, one was coming back after a loss, and another one is 3-0 with the 3 knockouts. And we were going for 4-0, 4 knockouts. So we're in camp 6 days a week. They're training 3 times a day. We're going to the gym at 8 o'clock at night, getting out after midnight. And I'm trying to write a safety book. And all that's in my mind, truthfully, is boxing. So I have a rule when I sit down to write, it's 200 words or I'm not getting it done. And every time I sat down, it started being boxing. And so I was like, okay, it's a story here to tell. And I started at that time in the gym, we were working on the jab. One of the fighters is new, he's just come to me after his loss. And I've been working on adjustments for him. And that's the biggest adjustment we're making is the jab. And it just started making sense as I started teaching the fighters and reminding them how important the jab was. I'm like, you know what? In the conversation in the gym, probably where it clicked for them, because these are fighters, they're grown men, they've been doing this since they were 8. You know, they hear you, oh yeah, jab, okay, sounds good. But then when I made it relate to life to them, and this, I'm talking in the gym, they were like, all of a sudden you can see the light bulb go off. Like, man, this is the jab, I really need to use it. Because even the fighter really just wants to go for the knockout. He really just wants to hit you with a hard shot and get the fight over with. But they weren't able to do that. So it turned into me writing that, okay, let me explain the jab. You're right, the jab makes sense, but you guys are only using one of them. There are 5 jabs, so let's use the right jab for the right purpose. And then how does each one of those jabs apply in life? What can we take from this jab? Because we say life is like a boxing match all the time, or life is a fight. And if life is a fight, then your number one punch, your most important punch, has got to be a jab. How do you set up the wins in life? That's a jab.
That's a really good point you make about, about, because I see it too a lot with my clients as well. As when I work with leaders, it's like the things that are preparatory don't feel as important. It's like it's the hand that's back here that I got to hit with. It's my bigger punch, but it's like, yeah, but there's these other things that we do to prep, and there's all these different types of ways that we prep that set you up for the big thing.
Right.
I love that about this book, because there's a different jabs, and so each one sets you up. Like there's this showing up. I know there's the basic. So from the jabs in the book, what do you think? So if you could tell people to focus on one every day, what would it be?
If I have to focus on one, I'll, for the record, my favorite jab is the power jab. So, but if I had to focus on one, it would be the basic jab. And the basic jab is, we talked about what it is in the ring. In life, that is my most basic, just initially showing up. That's getting up with the mindset of, you know what, today I'm going to accomplish A, B, C, D. This is going to be a great week. I'm going to get on the phone. I'm going to call 5 companies. 3 of them are going to answer. 2 of them are going to buy this. It's the mindset that we started out with. So that's my basic jab. Everything, because the rest of my day kind of flows on how it starts. So to me, if you want that one thing to start it off, it's the basic jab. It starts with the mindset and a plan, a game plan to kill it today, to kill it this week, this year. Your basic jab. It got to start there.
It's the show up. Yeah.
Yep, show up, set that alarm clock. Don't hit snooze 12 times, maybe one snooze. After that, get up. I mean, the thing with the snooze, even for me, is sometimes I have to remind myself what I have to do today. Like this is, and not in a bad way. Like this is a real goal. This is something I want to do. Get up. That is it. Get up, show up, be ready, and go to work.
Gotcha. Well, so I'm curious about, so what you love about boxing is not getting hit. So what do you love about being a coach? And what's it like to manage people?
So coaching is, what I love most about it, honestly, is seeing a fighter change outside of the ring. So when you really talk about boxing itself, and a lot of times people see fighters in the ring as, this tough guy or this tough girl. But the backstory on most fighters, not too many people pick the profession or sport to get hit in the face. So there's I think about it, like that's what I'm saying. People thought I was crazy, but it's something different in there that is fueling that person. And it could be anything. A lot of times, from my experience, whether it's a childhood, something from the childhood, something someone told them, you won't make it, you won't be this, or just trying to be better than the dad they knew, the dad they didn't know, trying to make their mom proud, or whatever that thing that brought them to boxing. I try to figure out what that is and make them a better person outside of the ring. That to me is, I'm doing my job at that point, because sometimes the wins and losses are out of our hand in the ring. It's something you can train your butt off, and sometimes it is not your day. But what did that person become after boxing, or who are they when we aren't in the gym? To me, that's the most, honestly, what I get out of boxing.
That's beautiful.
Thanks.
That sounds very rewarding.
It is. It for me, it is. I mean, I can see the changes. It's and don't get me wrong, it's a headache too, because you can see, I've seen the changes, I've seen them go back, I've seen it come forward. But when you can see that this person was here, and they are there, it's rewarding. It is, you're helping, but you're helping their family, you're helping the community, you're helping society, from turning what many may have thought this person could have just as easily been locked up, right? But now look at him. He's out talking to kids, or she's out, meeting at schools. So you completely turn around what could have been a terrible situation, childhood, or life for somebody.
Gotcha. So you get to see the lights come on, you get to see,
Yes, yes, you get to see them really, really care about living and care about others. I mean, I think that's what changes for most of them when they start to care about other people, and not in terms of what other people think about them, but what they can do for others. It changes them.
wow, that's beautiful.
Thanks.
Congrats on getting to do that. That's great. That's a great performance.
Yes, I definitely. I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
Awesome. So I'm curious. So if we think about Jab to Win, if someone takes this and does it, like the life application pieces, and also there's a lot in there about just really how to box, right? It's really much about the technical parts of it, and then how to, as you're saying, take this into your life. What changes about their life?
Well, I think a confidence level. So there's two parts about this that I've seen. So I'm talking a lot about the pros that I deal with, but a lot of time what I've actually dealt with in the boxing gym are women or young girls who have come in because they were being bullied, or because they, from lack of confidence or something like that. And getting them in boxing, teaching them how to throw a punch, how to move, and how to gracefully put a combo together without caring who's looking. You see a confidence change in her. She goes to school and she's not picked on. And it's not because now I can fight. Most people think, oh, you're teaching them to fight. Now they can go to school and defend themselves. But just how they carry themselves differently, people don't pick on them. So I've seen that part change just in how it applies. And then the other thing, and I'm talking about applying the other side to life. The biggest thing that we also is a misconception about fighters. What people don't know is most fighters that are in the ring, majority of them, 70, 80% of them are scared themselves. So the only difference is when that person is in that ring and they're scared, but they're jabbing anyway, is they are facing fear and applying essentially this jab or applying this book. So now it's, my job is tough, or I'm going after a another degree, or I want a promotion. Is facing that fear, showing up and applying it in terms of applying it to life, and not running from the fear, not running from the challenge or the obstacle, and facing it like a fighter would. The thing is, me as this guy with 4 businesses, 2 books, or 1.5, one's almost out. But the thing is, the same thing is, I had to turn around and apply the same applications from this book to lose 100 pounds. So in growing my first company, to be honest, that it was a lot of time in there where I won't say it was more of stress, because I actually got laid off. So quick funny story about how I started my first company. I moved my family from Ohio to Indiana for a 6-figure job. 8 months later, I was laid off. So, and it turned into the family is all like, are we moving again? Oh my God, we just moved here. And I was like, you know what? We're not moving. I'm putting it on my back and I'm doing it. So I started YDE as a consultant because I had a family to feed. So it sounds cute, like, oh, I really started this, but that's why I started. So in the mix of starting that company over a 2-year period, I gained probably 115, 16 pounds. And that was because I had taken a job that was I did take another job that was like 40 grand less than what I moved here for. So I was doing that job by day, nights and weekends, I was growing my company. So it was energy drinks and chips at the computer at midnight, 3, 4 in the morning, and all weekend. And that's the result of it. So when all this came 2 years later, the company's starting to grow, I'm starting to get somewhere, and I'm sitting here and I'm 418 pounds. So, okay, it's time for some basic jabs, Sam. and I literally had to go through that book, and you start getting in, and the pivot jab is in there, and pivot jab is more things are coming at you, and it's how you turn and keep moving forward to be effective. I had injury after injury. All of a sudden, you got a 418-pound guy in the gym thinking he can do what he used to do. Shoulders out, back out, knee out, and having to apply that and make changes to still lose the weight. Essentially, that's what I got out the book. It turned around and it worked for me. I'm still trying to lose another 40 pounds, but so far that 100 is gone.
That's incredible. Wow, so you've actually taken the stuff in here and it's actually worked for you. So,
Yes.
so I mean, this book, you know, you follow it, it increases confidence, it gives you tenacity, is what I'm hearing. Tenacity to get to wherever you want to go, no matter what that is. If it's in the boardroom, if it's in the boxing gym, if it's in your building your business, whatever it is, it's going to give you confidence and the wherewithal to do that.
Absolutely. Yes. Confidence in yourself, understanding that whoever you're facing, again, if it's another job or somebody else, whoever you're facing is probably have some hint of fear themselves, just like in the ring. That other fighter standing across you is a little scared himself. So it's the same thing. And I think that's where the confidence and thing really increases, because you get to understand that, you know, we're all operating pretty close to the same, you know, in the same playing field. It's just a matter of how I respond to either this pressure or this situation or this obstacle.
Gotcha. Do you have any final thoughts? Anything you want to say to your upcoming potential readers or anybody who's going to buy the book?
Only thing I want to say is I tell you what, it was a fun experience writing this book. I really did try to pour in it experiences from boxing, experiences from life. This wasn't one where I just made up some stuff because it sounded good. So that's the biggest thing you get from this. And if you buy the book, if you like the book, a couple things. Find me on LinkedIn. I'm Safety Sam Hawkins on there. Same thing on Instagram. Find me there. Tell me what you thought about it. I really want to hear from people, especially if you don't like it, tell me about it too, because I want to improve in the future. But if you got something from it that helped you in any way, please let me know, because that's the kind of stuff that even motivates me to continue to write and to continue to try to give that stuff for other people. So hopefully you like it. Hopefully you get it. I don't know. That's all I got.
Gotcha. All right, everybody, get Jab to Win. Oh, then what book do you have coming up, Sam?
So this next one is back in my field. Safety I've been doing for 21 years. So this one is called KISS. It's actually called Keep It Simple. And there's the old saying, keep it simple, stupid. Well, we're slashing out stupid and putting safety. So it won't be
keep it simple, safety.
Keep it simple.
Okay, gotcha. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Okay.
August 25th, it will be published. It'll be available on Amazon and everywhere else August 25th.
Gotcha. So we'll keep an eye out for that. Everybody get Jab to Win if you want to increase your confidence, motivate yourself, get through things, get prepped, get the book. It's a really good book. Sam, thank you so much for your time.
No problem. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
I look forward to hearing from you and seeing all your success coming up.
Thank you.
Your story.